lovers, it is G-Swiss here, and I'm here today to talk about my most intimidating books on my TBR currently. Well, that is with a few exceptions, because for the sake of not being repetitive, I am not going to be mentioning the Zodiac Academy series, nor the Savage Land series, nor some series I've been talking about a lot in recent days. If you guys didn't happen to know, this is a 7 on Sunday topic, and I am the host of 7 on Sunday. I will link the Goodreads page down in the description where you can check it out, and you can participate in a topic in the future, or you can suggest a topic. My hair is caught on my jacket. I should have realized that before I started filming. And yes, I do post the intimidating TBR tag on my channel once a year because I like evaluating my TBR based on those prompts. However, I just want to talk about some intimidating books without focusing on specific prompts, because I have a lot of books on my TBR and some of them are intimidating. Some of them I want to point out, some of them I want to confront, and I want to get to sometime soon. And sometimes I don't admit to myself that these books are intimidating, and that is the reason why I've been putting them off, but you know what? I gotta address it. I'm going to address it here today. I guess without further ado, let's get straight into this video where I talk about the books that are currently the most intimidating on my TBR that I don't talk about as much as I do the books that I mentioned at the very beginning of the video. The first book slash series that I am slightly intimidated by due to the fact that I don't know when the series is going to end, and I want to know that sometime soon because I'm hearing great things about this series. The Of Flesh and Bone series, the first book being What Lies Beyond the Veil. I thought that this was going to be a trilogy, and then I found out that the third book ends off on a cliffhanger. It's not even confirmed that the fourth book is going to be the last book. I think that this book series is going to go on for like 5 books or more. From what I've seen so far, there has been like no news as to when this series is going to end. If you guys happen to know, let me know down in the comments, because I would definitely love to know if the series is going to have an ending either sometime soon or if it's going to be later, then I can mentally prepare for it. I have the beautiful author exclusive edition. I love the fan art that the author has commissioned for the series, so I've been getting these editions and I'm so happy that I have because they're just so pretty, and I want to read the series. I've heard great things about it, but I don't want to get to it immediately because I am just intimidated by the book Hangover. I mean, I will talk about that I think with a few other titles on this list, but the specific reason why I've been avoiding this series is because I don't know when it is going to end, and I like to avoid book hangovers where I can, and I like to avoid cliffhangers where I can. I would much prefer to experience a book hangover when a book series has been completed than when I'm experiencing it through a cliffhanger. The second book series that I have on this list today is the Fallen World trilogy by Laura Falasa, the first book being The Queen of All That Dies. Laura Falasa is actually one of my favorite authors of all time. I absolutely adore her works. She wrote the Bargainer series, she wrote the Four Horsemen series, she wrote Bewitched and The Unearthly. All of those books slash series I have fallen in love with, and this is one of her final remaining series that I need to get to. I also really want to get to The Vanishing Girl. However, the final book has been delayed indefinitely, so I actually don't know when that book series is going to end, so I'm not going to bother with that series until I know that that series is going to end. But with the Fallen World trilogy, I have really high expectations for the series. I keep on telling myself that it's going to be a new favorite because I love Laura Falasa's other book series. However, I am kind of worried that I am not going to love it as much. I am curious as to whether or not I will have an unearthly experience with this book series, or I will have a bargainer reading experience with this book series. The Unearthly series took me a while to warm up to. However, the final 3 books in that series were phenomenal in my opinion, whereas the Bargainer trilogy was perfect throughout, in my personal opinion. Also, this has the potential to give me a terrible book hangover as well, except at least the Fallen World trilogy is complete. So I have a different reason to be intimidated about the series, but I have really high expectations for it, like really high expectations. So we will see how I go. I do plan on reading it this year. And the next intimidating book I have to mention on this list today is Silver in the Bone by Alexandra Bracken. I received this in my young adult fairy loot, and I still read young adult fiction to some degree. Usually if I read young adult fiction, it is from fairy loot. It's based on their book picks. With Silver in the Bone, however, I think this title kind of makes me nervous because it's a King Arthur reimagining, and in my personal opinion, YA is full of King Arthur reimaginings at the moment, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm experiencing some sort of fatigue when it comes to that, but I want to give Silver and the Bone a try because it was a Fairy Loot book pick. I have a special edition of it, and I loved the Darkest Mind series at the time that I read those books, and it has been years since I read the Darkest Mind series, so I actually don't know whether or not I will still love Alexandra Bracken's writing style, but we will see. I'm just kind of nervous about this book series because I'm just kind of wanting something new, and I know that so many other booktubers say the same thing about Beauty and the Beast, and I'm obsessed with Beauty and the Beast, and they're like, the market is so saturated with Beauty and the Beast at the moment. And my opinion is that the market is kind of oversaturated with King Arthur reimaginings. And you know what? Two things can be true, but I have preferences. I did like Legendborn, and I'm kind of hoping that I will love this one just as much as I liked Legendborn, and I won't hate this one as much as I despised reading Cursed. So we will see. Complete opposite side of the spectrum. The next intimidating book I put on this list today is Mine by A.K. Rose, or pretty much any book in the Blood Ties series. And yeah, so this is not YA. This is very much new adult. And a big reason why I am intimidated by this book is because it's dealing with a taboo subject. This is not just a dark and steamy book. This is a dark and steamy book that involves step-siblings. Yeah, there we go. I purchased these books for pre-order in the lead up to Rare because I loved the covers so much. I actually did not pre-order these special edition foiled ones, but I got an upgrade because the author was like, you know what, I'm just gonna upgrade every pre-order. So that's what she did, and I appreciate that because I really love this foiling, and I admire these. And in these editions in particular, there are some overlays, and I can't show you those overlays because every single one of the overlays are not safe for work. I'm nervous to read this, but I hear that it's good. Sash read mine on the way back from Rare. She read it on her plane trip, and oh my goodness, she loved it. So I know that I'm going to enjoy this to some capacity, but I'm not gonna lie, I am intimidated by its premise because I am not used to reading step-sibling romances. That is territory I have not yet traveled, but I do want to give A.K. Rose a chance, and A.K. Rose as an author was absolutely lovely. I had a great experience meeting them and talking to them, and they thanked me so much for pre-ordering their books, and it was just kind of cool to see how grateful they were for all their fans, and it made me want to support them even more. But yeah, this seems to be a pretty taboo subject matter. I will eventually read this book series, and then I can gush to Sash about it. The next book that I find intimidating that I have to mention today is One for My Enemy by Olivia Blake. This book is pretty well known as one of Olivia Blake's best works. I am a huge fan of The Atlas Six and Alone with You in the Ether. I love both those books so much, and I am nervous to get to One for My Enemy because I have a feeling that it might just not be as good as those two, and I keep on hearing that this book is incredible, so I'm a little conflicted about trying it out. But I love Olivia Blake, and Olivia Blake is an auto-buy author for me, and it's taken me a while to read One for My Enemy. I need to get to it sometime soon, but yes, I am very much intimidated by the hype of this book, and that is a big reason why I have not yet read it. I was very much looking forward to reading this book as soon as I received my copy, but as soon as my Waterstones edition arrived to me, I saw it, I was like, oh my goodness, you look so pretty, and I want to dive in, but at the very same time, what if I'm disappointed? I don't want to doubt Olivia Blake like this, but I'm a little bit nervous. It is definitely one of my most anticipated releases of this year, so I want to get to it, but I am nervous to get to it. I am intimidated by it because I just have a feeling it's not going to top Alone with You in the Ether. Like, Alone with You in the Ether is my favorite book by Olivia Blake. I'm just hoping that this one is even better or on the same level because I adore Olivia Blake and I want to read more from her, but yeah, I'm just hearing hype all around for this book. And another intimidating book that I have put on this list today is a sequel, or really it's a prequel to a book that I have previously put on these lists, and that, my friends, is A Day of Fallen Night by Samantha Shannon. Yes guys, I have finally read The Priory of the Orange Tree, and I enjoyed my experience doing so, but now I've got to read A Day of Fallen Night. This book is around the same size as The Priory of the Orange Tree, except this is the prequel. And I am very much looking forward to getting the backstory that I so wanted from Priory of the Orange Tree in A Day of Fallen Night. And I am definitely also looking forward to experiencing the other spin-offs that will be in this world. I believe that Samantha Shannon is aiming to make this a 5-book series, but the books are companions to each other. I'm definitely excited for that. A Day of Fallen Night is one that I have I've heard Samantha talk about at her book signing. I like that she gave us the synopsis for this book and the inspiration behind this book. And that not only got me really pumped to read Priory, but it got me really pumped to check this book out as well. I'm not going to pressure myself to get to A Day of Fallen Night this year, as Priory and A Day of Fallen Night can be read separately, so I don't actually need to read them like back to back. However, I do want to get to this one sometime in the near future. Who knows, maybe if there's another Pop Sugar reading challenge that I participate in the future, and the challenge prompt is to read the largest book on your TBR, then yes, I have another really large book on my TBR that I can read for that. I am less intimidated by this book, knowing that I accomplished my reading experience with Priory of the Orange Tree, and I recall the events, because the first time I read Priory, I could not recall the events because it just completely went over my head. I'm hoping that I have a very good reading experience with Day of Fallen Night, and I'm kind of hoping I enjoy it more than Priory. And speaking of popular authors with book series that are just going to keep expanding, I have the Ninth House series by Leigh Bardugo. Right here, I have Ninth House in my hands. This is the first book in the series, and Hellbent is the second book in the series. I don't know how long this book series is gonna go for, and I do want to read Ninth House eventually, but I think the more and more the hype dies down for this series, the less I am motivated to pick it up. And you know what? I didn't actually think to feature this book series in this video until around 5 minutes before I pressed record. I was like, oh, I have the Ninth House series on my shelf. I literally forgot I had this book series on my shelves, and I have the Illumicrate editions. Look at this beautiful edition. This edition is stunning. Like, the end pages are gorgeous, and then check out the naked hardback. Like, the foiling is so cool. I've completely forgotten that I have these editions and that I have this series on my shelf, or at least the first 2 books in this series on my shelf. Rumor has it that this is going to be a 9-book series. I really don't know. Maybe, just maybe, Leigh Bardugo will shrink the series, or maybe she'll put some spin-offs into the series. I have no idea what this book series is about, if I'm to be honest, but I have just been hearing great things from my friends, and everyone is telling me to read this series, and they say that I will like it. I'm like, yeah, sure, but I mean, I need the covers to be updated, and that's what Illumicrate did. They came through. Now I'm just putting it off. I know, I'm terrible. And the second last book slash series that I have been putting off because I am intimidated by it is the Divine Between series by Jess Wisecup. I have friends who like this series. However, the general consensus about book 2 is that the love interest, the guy, he's a jerk in book 2. And that's making me nervous, because you guys already know how I feel about Prince Rafferty. I don't want another Prince Rafferty moment. I want to know if the guy love interest has any justification for the way that he's acting, or he's doing it to, like, I don't know, protect the protagonist, but like in a justifiable way, like not in a Prince Rafferty way. Oh my goodness. I know it has been 3 or 4 years, I don't remember, since I've read the Remnant Chronicles, and I'm still burnt by Prince Rafferty, guys. Like, I'm still thinking about it. This hate has like completely consumed me. I am so sorry. I have been burnt. I've been burnt by him, I've been burnt by Tamlin, I've been burnt by Prince Ren from A Curse So Dark and Lonely, stuff like that. I have been burnt by terrible male love interests, and hearing that the male love interest is a jerk in book 2 is not promising for me, especially because I hear that he's amazing in book 1. I don't know how to feel about this. However, I think book 3 is coming out soon, so I need to know the general consensus about book 3 before I decide that I want to pick this book series up. I need to know if things get better for this couple, because I don't want to invest myself in these chunky bricks if things aren't going to be good, and if I'm just gonna feel terrible the entire time. Before I proceed, I just need to show you guys this beautiful fan art by Gemlin C. They are one of my favorite illustrators. I'm really happy that they illustrated the end page art for the series. I just hope that things are okay. I think each book is like a similar length. Like this book, oh my goodness, I did not pay attention to the length of this book. Between Wrath and Mercy is over 750 pages. So, if one of the main characters is going to be unlikable for the majority of the second book, then count me out. Like, I'm not... No. However, if the third book can redeem their character, I will consider it. I just need to see what the general consensus is regarding the couple, because I want them to experience happiness, and I want to be able to read the book series and feel good about both of them, you know? And speaking of complicated love, trouble in paradise, however you describe it, the final book that I've included on this list today is The Heart of the Sun Warrior by Su Lin Tan. This is the sequel slash conclusion to the Daughter of the Moon Goddess duology. Apparently, the protagonist has a lot of difficulty with the love triangle in this book series, and a lot of people are upset that she either picked wrong or the love interest in the first book that everyone loved just happened to take the turn for the worst and happened to be really uncertain and unclear as to what direction he wanted to take. You know what? I have a feeling I know who it is. And honestly, it's kind of disheartening knowing that because I was kind of rooting for him. If we were gonna get a love triangle, I did not want the love journey for the two characters to be so easy. Here's the thing, I usually hate love triangles, but in this situation, why put a love triangle in the book series if you're going to just add angst from that side of things and then just not deliver on that front? That all being said, I have not yet read this book. I have not technically been spoiled for what actually happens. Who knows? Maybe the other love interest that is introduced in the first book actually has another girl that he's also pursuing, but he doesn't tell the protagonist in the first book. So maybe it could have been that kind of situation. I honestly don't know how this book is going to end, but I think it is actually kind of ridiculous that this book series is hinging on a love triangle because everything around the love triangle is so interesting. I really enjoyed the first book, Daughter of the Moon Goddess, because I appreciated the story going on. I didn't read the story for the love triangle. However, I did find the love triangle a little bit interesting, but the fact that this final book focuses on the end game and the love triangle so much, it kind of infuriates me because I think it just takes away from the beautiful experience of the first book. The first book is very well written. I loved it, and I just don't understand why duologies need love triangles. I'm kind of sick of it. But yeah, I've put this book off for over 6 months. It's been like 7 or 8 months maybe 9 as I'm filming this. It's been a while and I want to read this book eventually, but I'm not motivated to. I guess it's gonna be it for this video today, book lovers. If you happen to stay to the end of the video, leave me the yellow heart emoji. And if you happen to enjoy this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you haven't yet already. Join the amazing community of book lovers. And also I have social medias. I'm at GSwizzleBooks on Twitter and Instagram, and I'm also on GOODREADS. That's www.goodreads.com/gswizzle. And finally, I'm at TikTok. I'm at GSwizzle on TikTok if you want to follow me there for some bookish content. I love you, book lovers, and I will see you later. Peace.
Started out with half and I flipped it into double. Started out with half and I flipped it into double.